and it was like, do you want to be a breastfeeding counselor? Like, can you help other women? You know, it had like these 3 questions, and I answered. I was like, yes, I can help people breastfeed. So I'm trying to think, how do I start this? Like when I tell the Brandi story of how I became a lactation consultant. How can I start off? So I was a 21-year-old college student. I ended up getting pregnant, and I found myself at WIC. Like, okay, I am a broke college student. I need to feed myself. So I got WIC. And I went to WIC. I remember taking the breastfeeding class at the time, and the teacher was like stacking the Lego blocks up about the benefits of breastfeeding, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I didn't know how the difference really was with breastfeeding and formula. And so when I had her, I breastfed her. Everything was like the perfect experience. Like, I didn't have any sore nipples. I didn't have bad latch. Like, my baby just came out. She was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be breastfed baby. And then the WIC counselor was just impressed that I was still breastfeeding my baby exclusively. It was like, she couldn't believe it. She's like, so you're only breastfeeding her? I was like, yeah. And I was thinking in my head, why is she like making it seem like I'm an anomaly or something? Like, isn't everyone breastfeeding their babies? And so as I was leaving that appointment, it was a job announcement flyer on the walls. I was waiting to pick up my checks, and it was like, do you want to be a breastfeeding counselor? Like, can you help other women? Answered, I was like, yes, I can help people breastfeed. So as I began to work at WIC, I found out that women weren't breastfeeding. And on top of that, I found out that Black women weren't breastfeeding. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't understand why weren't people breastfeeding. My whole goal for becoming an IBCLC was to serve and help Black women breastfeed. And West Oakland has a high Black African American population. I started the Breast Friends Mommy group here. It is a group for pregnant and breastfeeding African American mamas, babies, daddies if they want to come, and partners, friends, grandmamas, whoever wants to come to this group and learn about breastfeeding. This is the group for them. It's open to the community, not only WIC participants, but also the West Oakland community for people who might not be WIC eligible. But it's a safe space for Black women to be able to share their experiences around birth, around breastfeeding, with no judgment. But the cool thing about the group is that the mamas lead the group. They teach the group. If they have a question, someone brings up a question, I shoot it back to them. I'm like, oh, you know, Tiffany went through that experience. She can tell you how to breastfeed. She can tell you how to pump. She can tell you how to heal your sore nipples. And so it became that they became breast friends. They became sisters. And they became each other's support. So if I'm not around, they know that they have other people who are breastfeeding who they could get support from. The group has been going for 6 years strong. We served over 500 Black families, babies, and mamas. And the coolest thing I feel about my group compared to other breastfeeding groups is that we breastfeed extendedly. A lot of the mamas in our group have breastfed 2 and 3 years, and they're excited. They're the first people in their family to have done extended breastfeeding. So they're excited. They're breaking stigma. They're breaking stereotypes. When people are like, oh, that baby's too big, or that baby has teeth, you shouldn't be breastfeeding. They know what to say now. They're like, well, actually, my milk is still beneficial, and they can tell them a long list of reasons why. I would say that WIC changed my life. WIC and breastfeeding really changed my life. The WIC being able to give me a job, give me skills, show me there's this big gigantic world about birth and lactation and advocacy and education. Like, I didn't know Black people were sick and dying. I had no idea. I just thought we were healthy and fine like everyone else. And when I started learning about the socioeconomic statuses and how those health disparities really, or where you live really impacts your health, I was just like, what? And then putting it when I'm going to the breastfeeding conferences and I'm hearing that if you breastfeed, you're less likely to have all these health disparities. A lot of times, Black women aren't hearing that message. They're not hearing this little simple thing that you can do can really impact your health for the rest of your life and your baby's health. I tell a lot of my clients a lot of times, like, breastfeeding will change your life. Like, it just opens up doors that you never would have known how it would have been open. So I'm thankful really for that experience. But now I'm able to give back to my community. I'm able to teach other Black women about breastfeeding. But yeah, I'm just thankful for it because it really changed my life.